There we go. You are tuned in to WKIU 95.1, the Kingdom Broadcasting Network, where we create unity, build relationships, and empower people. And today's topic, we are talking about being a trailblazer and what it really means to be a trailblazer. And so we want to jump into that. I got some good stuff that I want to share with you guys today, okay? Number one thing that we got to know, guys, being a trailblazer, first thing is that it's a person that makes a new track through wild country or through, new areas. All right. A pioneer, an innovator. OK, one who blazes the trail for others to follow through unsettled country or wilderness, also known as a pathfinder. Now, when you talk about being a trailblazer, there are certain things that you must possess. And we're going to talk about those things today, characteristics of a trailblazer. And this may be you. And if you can identify with them, then, that's great. But I want to talk about this because oftentimes when trouble pops up in our lives, we decline, we fall back, we quit, and we don't continue to move forward and to trailblaze. We don't continue to move forward and pioneer. We don't continue to move forward and press. Okay? And the world has made it easy for us to quit. It's okay. Must not have been for you. Must not, that wasn't God. You didn't hear him. And I want to offer a new perspective today, and I want to offer some encouragement. So listen, some things that you must possess in order for you to actually operate in a trailblazing position, okay? You must possess productivity. Under no circumstances will we not be productive, will we not get the job done, okay? You must be optimistic. There can be no negativity, there can be no doubt, and there can be no unbelief. And when those things come up on you, in you, around you, you just got to cast it down. And you got to say, no, I do believe. Yes, I heard God. I'm going to move forward because I'm going to see the salvation of the Lord. I'm going to see the vision come to pass. And listen, and you got to be innovative. Now, when trouble comes up, now this is how you really know whether or not you're a trailblazer, whether or not you believe in your own vision or not. And we're going to get into some other characteristics that's really going to help you to understand what we're talking about. Excuse me, guys. When trouble comes up like that, this must be a great word. When trouble comes up like that, you got to think to yourself, hey, man, this, don't look at it as if, well, maybe it's not for me. Look at it as if, okay, something, is about to happen. We're about to get some breakthrough because there's resistance. I think that if we change our mind to what it is that is coming up against us, we'll be able to really, press and move forward because we'll be able to really see and understand and really know that what we're doing, it came from the Father, right? Because all vision comes from God. And when things come up to hinder you, you can't take a negative thought to that. You can't be like, well, I'm just not going to do it, okay? We got to keep pressing forward. I'm trying to find my paperwork, guys. We got to keep pressing forward, and we got to keep moving forward, okay? So that's where the optimism comes in, and that's where the innovation comes in, because that's when you really tap into your creativity. When you run into problems, circumstances, situations that try to hinder you from your goal, you don't quit. You find ways over the hurdle. You find ways to get the job done rather than just quitting, because quitting is never an option, right? Quitting is never an option. And so you got to think about all of those times where people were in the past. We talk about trailblazing, all of the things that people done for us in the past that helped us to get to where we are today. Especially, for women, being able to speak, being able to have rights in the African American community and certain other things as well, guys. People being able to do what they need to do, how they need to do it, being able to be considered, for certain jobs and being in certain markets and stuff like that. You got to think about those people that came before you, those groundbreaking trailblazers that came before you, even in the areas of science and medicine and education. What was the movie with the three ladies that were the computers, and they broke through, helping to get the man to the moon? I mean, you got to think about that. Think about the trials, the tribulations that they suffered, but they never once denied the goodness, the greatness, and the desire that was on the inside of them, in order for them to keep moving and to keep going forward. And so we just got to get to the point and to the place where we don't allow the hindrances and the resistance to stop us. All right. So we want to get into these characteristics, and there are several, guys. There's no closed limit to what you need and how you need to do it or what you need to possess. But these are some of the things that I found that really make for a great conversation and for a great topic. And you got to remember that when trouble comes, it doesn't mean that you stop or that you quit. It just means that you find another way to get the job done. Okay, and so I want to cover these with you really quickly. Curiosity. We're talking about characteristics of a trailblazer, characteristics of those who pioneer, who are, and listen, sometimes trailblazing is lonely because everyone will not understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. Because what you are doing, no one else is doing. That's why it's called trailblazing. And because you find yourself alone, or you find yourself on this path that you're doing and no one else is doing, be okay with that. Stop allowing things to come into your mind, people, places. Stop allowing yourself to hear what others are saying and then allowing that to discourage you. So the curiosity, okay, the trait of always asking and wondering why something works, and the relentless questioning of if something could work. That is the desire and the birthing of a trailblazer. And God is trying to get you on a path to where you will be able to be innovative. There's no telling what witty invention, that you will come up with. There's no telling what, billion-dollar idea that you have. But because you're so stuck in the comfortability of being accepted by everyone, now you have become common. And God is trying to break you out of mediocrity. And that's one thing that you will find, that trailblazers are not, they don't care about the crowd. They're not worried about popularity. They don't care if you like it or not, because they're relentless about what it is that is on the inside of them. And see, trailblazing is not something that you do. It's who you are. And who you are just happens to be manifested in your daily lifestyle. You see what I'm saying? Now, can you adapt the attributes of being a trailblazer? Absolutely. It takes great discipline. And we're going to talk about those things today, because a lot of times we jump into roles and we jump into business and we jump into entrepreneurship, and we're really not ready because we haven't really worked on ourselves as far as self-discipline or as far as personal development, because there are some things that you got to have that even when nobody else is supporting, or even when nobody else is on your team and nobody else is riding for you, as they say, or nobody else is agreeing with the vision, you still move forward because you have hope, the positive outlook of every situation, with the unfailing faith that things will work out. Now remember, hope is the jump ground for faith. Without hope, there is no faith. So you have to be able to hope. Hope in your dream, hope in your desire, hope in you seeing the future manifested. Watch that movie by Tyler Perry, the one with Taraji in it, when she's married to the guy. And I'm going to learn the titles of these movies, guys. I watch a lot of movies, but I don't ever remember the titles. But I'm going to do better. So God bless my mind to remember the titles of movies. But watching this movie by Tyler Perry with Taraji in it, and, she was married to the guy. And, he had this dream, he had this hope that he had this, this invention, I don't remember what it was, but anyway, they had went into debt, you know what I mean? And she I mean, the house, the car, the money, savings, everything. And she was just so fed up because it took so long. It was like 10, 12, maybe 15 years even. It had taken too long. And so everybody's not going to see your dream. Everybody's not going to see your vision. Everybody's not going to stick it out and ride the wave. But he was so passionate. He believed in it so much. He had so much hope in that particular thing that it was going to work. And you know what? It did. Finally, he got the breakthrough. He got somebody. They really tried to buy it from him. He wasn't selling it. But come to find out, man, it was $1 million dream. He became a millionaire. He was a millionaire. He was able to buy back the house for her, and he gave her like $10 million, all of that good stuff. Because it worked, because he had hope, because he did not give up. All right. Another thing trailblazers have, they have passion. Something deep on the inside of you that just burns. Okay. It makes a difference. All right. It just burns on the inside of you. I believe that where you find your passion, you find your purpose. Okay? Your passion will always lead you to your purpose. Another characteristic of a trailblazer, courage. The internal confidence to face your fears and to press beyond them. Not backing down because of resistance or naysayers. So that, again, guys, these are things that are within you. All right. Nothing on the outside is conditioning you, is hyping you up, is motivating you, is inspiring you to do anything greater. Those things help, but it's not the internal or the foundational source of why you do what you do or who you are. It's from within. That is why we talk about so much here on the Uniquely Living Radio Show about personally developing, learning who you are. A lot of times you're trying to do stuff and you don't even know who you are. You don't even know what you like. You don't know what your wants are. You don't know what your desires are. You don't even know what you need. And a lot of those things come with maturity. They come with you experiencing some things. They come with you being in certain environments. They come with you being around certain people. It comes along when you are, at your, in the wilderness. You know what I mean? In that dark and sunken place, sometimes you find yourself, you'll begin to say, hey, this is what I like. This is what I don't like, and you need to know those things about yourself. All right. So that passion, that courage. And listen, another thing that trailblazers possess is that independence. The desire to be your own person and not just to follow the crowd, okay? No matter how comfortable or easy it may be to conform. So independence, we're not talking about being selfish or just being on, by yourself, because we know that when you come up and when you build that legacy after you've trailblazed, you have to have people with you. There's nothing that you can do on your own, okay? Success is not a one man's game. All right. It includes other people, and it takes other people in order for you to be successful and to complete the vision that is on the inside of you. But what we are saying is that you're independent enough not to conform to what everybody else is doing. Everybody else doesn't do it the same way. And you know what? That's okay. And because they don't do it the same way doesn't mean that they're wrong. It just means that they don't do it the way you do it. And so we have to be able to embrace diversity. Diversity embraced is unity achieved. And there comes a time when you begin to say, man, I see what they're doing. This is making headway. Okay? We're going to talk about some things and we're going to give some examples. Self-confidence, the conviction to stay focused on what matters most, and ignoring distractions that will take you away from making a big impact. What if trouble was God's way of trailblazing? I mean, just what if? What if trouble was God's way of trailblazing? Wouldn't that require perseverance, willingness to press on when others would simply quit or take an easy way out? Now, these things that we've discussed, that we've covered: curiosity, hope, passion, courage, independence, self-confidence, perseverance. Those characteristics are essential for success in business, period, hands down. But even success when it comes to spiritual leading, when it comes to you proclaiming the gospel, preaching the gospel, when it comes to you operating your business, entrepreneurship, when it comes to you leading your family, when it comes to you doing what God has put on the inside of you, because vision comes from the Father. I have a few more things that I want to cover with you today, because on Friday we're going to get into the secret of becoming a trailblazer, right? The secret of coming into who you are and then actually walking in it, because it's not enough to know what it takes. But we have to also know how to do and how to move forward. We're going to practically talk about those things because it's so important. Knowledge alone will not get you where you need to go. It's going to require some work. And when you begin to work, there will be sacrifices, and there will be things that will try to hinder you and cause you to quit and to stop and to back up. And no longer will we allow things to stop us and hinder us. Even the thoughts that we have, the people that are around us, the things that we desire. Sometimes you are your greatest enemy, and you are holding yourself from moving forward and getting the things done that you need to get done. I want to cover this really quickly. All right. And I just want to give this right here. A lot of people can become entrepreneurs, but not everyone is a trailblazer. All right. Trailblazers just don't see the need. Okay. They create new markets. They forge their own paths. All right. So number one thing when it comes to being the trailblazer, attitude is everything. You can always tell when people are going to go far in life because they have a great attitude. They're optimistic about everything that happens. And when you're around those people, sometimes you just want to slap them in the mouth and say, shut up. Everything is just not that easy. You want to hit them in the head, or you want to just ask them, are you always, having a good day? Do you always, this is not good. This is bad. And you trying to make them see the bad, and they're trying to make you see the good. Trailblazer. Why do you say that? Because everything that comes their way, they find a way to maneuver through it or over it. They get past it. Nothing holds them down because they're determined. There's that perseverance. Remember, those things are inward, guys. That's inward. Okay. So to blaze the trail, you must possess deep conviction within yourself and in your vision. Okay. Deep conviction within yourself and in your vision. What are you convicted about? Those 7 things that we just discussed. Okay. That passion, that independence, that courage, okay, that perseverance, that hope, all right? And then when you talk about that, you drive straight forward. With the blinders on, you ignore distractions. You ignore those Debbie Downers, those people that are always telling you it's not going to work. Why are you doing this? You need to do this. People used to tell me all the time, you need to get a real job. And I say, ugh. See, they want to go to work and work 40 hours for someone else and then never, ever have any kind of creativity or time to do anything else that God wants them to do. You understand what I'm saying? And so you got to be able to knock those things down. So when you talk about trailblazing, there are those traits there. And this is one of them, guys. Ingenious. Trailblazers, they make their own rules. They do not buy into what has always worked in the past. They understand what worked in the past and they respect it, but they find a new way and then they fill in the gap. I'm going to give you an example. For instance, this young lady named Sarah Blakely. Okay. She was one of the first women to cut off the feet of her pantyhose because she wanted to create a blemish-free look under her white pants. Now, ladies, when you put on white pants, there's certain undergarments that you need to wear when you're wearing white. And so what she done was she said, well, I've got pantyhose and it's gonna, they're gonna hold me in places that I need to be in, and they're perfect. There won't be any panty lines. I'm going to cut my feet out of my stockings, and I'm going to put these on, and I'm going to wear them under my white pants. And so now today, what do we have? We have feetless tights. Everybody's wearing these tights now. We wear them as pants. But anyway, just think about that. Think about the things that you run into that cause you to stop, to hinder, to back up, but are really resistance is there for you to find creative ways to move past it. Now, what if she had just stopped and said, okay, forget it, I'm just never going to wear white again? I'm sure someone else would have came up with that, but I mean, man, okay, that was one idea. So ingenious, the ability to move forward, the ability to move past what is trying to hinder you. Okay, the ability to not be held to the past of what always worked, or this is how we always do it. When you are stuck in rigid rules and stuff like that sometimes hinders your creativity. Now, I'm not saying don't be structured, and I'm not saying don't have order, but I am saying don't be so complacent to the rules and the regulations, because most of the time when you submit to rules and regulations like that, you are oppressed, and we have to be honest with ourselves. Okay, number 2 thing here is that trailblazers are visionaries. Okay, so and again, not everyone can be a trailblazer, but people either have visions or they don't. Okay, now either you have the vision or you're willing to follow others and help them to execute their vision. So you have to have a visionary mindset. Okay, you got to be able to say, hey, listen, this is what we're doing, this is the vision, and this is where we're going. You got to be able to make decisions. Okay, so visionary, having a vision. Being an entrepreneur is not about love at first sight. It's about having an idea that intrigues you and that increasingly pulls you in until you can no longer ignore it. Okay? Relentless. These are characteristics of a trailblazer. First one we covered, got to have the right attitude, first of all. Ingenious, visionary, and then relentless. A vision will not only guide you, but it will also provide you, okay, the resilience that you need not to give up. So trailblazers, they persevere in the face of uncertain success. Uncertain success doesn't make them back up. Trailblazers, they persevere in that place. They make habits out of venturing outside of comfort zone, challenging obstacles, taking chances, failing repeatedly, and then persevering until they achieve their goals. Again, that is why we stress personal development, because when you fail because of the things that has happened in your childhood or things that you have experienced previously, you have a wrong feeling or emotion attached to failing, or attached to things not going your way, attached to you challenging obstacles, to you stepping outside of your comfort zone. When you did those things as a child or younger or previously, something happened. Somebody said something, somebody did something, and it made you feel uncomfortable, and you didn't know how to respond, react to that emotion that you were feeling. And so now you've made this vow that I'll never let another person make me feel like that. I'll never, do that again. I'll always do this, or I'll always do that. And so you have taken yourself out of the place of that ingenious. You've taken yourself out of the place of that creativity, and you've taken yourself out of the place of being relentless and not allowing yourself to move forward and persevere. So again, personal development, because we're going to get into the secret of becoming a trailblazer. And you've heard, a few of these little things here say that everybody is not a trailblazer. But I believe that vision is on the inside of everyone, and that God has put vision on the inside of everyone. But we got to get to the point and to the place where we're able to pull that out of people. Okay? And sometimes, no, you may not be the one leading the project, or you may not be the one trailblazing. You may be the one mid-blazing, or you may be the one end-blazing, bringing up the rear. Everyone is important and significant in their own little way. So you got to be relentless. Okay, and then you have to be collaborative, and that's the last one, guys, and we're going to get back into some more great inspiration for you today. You have to be collaborative. You've got to know that as you become successful is not by yourself, and it's through building and helping your relationships with others. And so when people say, I don't really work well with others, I don't want other people, to be a part, I just want to do it by myself. Trailblazing at first, yes, it becomes lonely, but when you're trailblazing and you're in the beginning stages, you may be by yourself, but as you continue, there are going to be people along the way, because God sends, laborers amongst your paths. He sends people to help you, to send, to hold your arms up. And so there'll be some people that'll come in and out of your path, and there'll be some people that'll stick. There'll be some people that are just seasonal, and you'll begin to learn those things and know those things. And the more you move forward in your vision, the more you're, making ground, you begin to see success, and the more people are going to start saying, hey, I believe in that dream, because you're proclaiming the dream, you're proclaiming the vision, you're talking about it, you're making it plain, people are understanding what you're doing, and you're consistent with it. And the more that you do that, the more that people want to collaborate with you. And so you have to be healthy enough to draw those people into your life. Sometimes you're by yourself and you're alone because your attitude is negative. You have a bad attitude. You don't understand people. You're not seeking to understand first rather than to be understood. And you only think that everything that happens is in your mind is all the right way. And that's not the proper way to think. It's not a way that is collaborative for people that want to join with you. So rather than you drawing people, you're repelling people. And sometimes that is the reason why your vision hasn't went anywhere. And that is the reason why you're still alone. And that is the reason why you don't see any success. It has to do with your attitude and you being able to collaborate with others. So listen, final statement. Trailblazers surround themselves with teams and resources that enhance them and help them to reach beyond their own strengths. So we have to be strong enough to admit that we have weaknesses and that that's not our strong point. And the more you do that, the more people will say, hey, I can respect that. I honor that. I want to help you. Ask any successful entrepreneur about their story, and they will tell you that it includes others who helped them along the way. Rarely has anyone ever created something, a visionary, a vision, a dream entirely on their own. Okay, so becoming a trailblazer, it isn't easy. The only way to know you've succeeded is when others say that you have. It's a title that's earned and granted, but it cannot be chased down. With the right mindset, you can blaze your own trail and change the name of your industry's game. That's the word today from the Uniquely Living Radio Show. I know that it blessed you because it blessed me. Stay connected, guys, right here. WKIU 95.1, the Kingdom Broadcasting Network, where we create unity, we build relationships, and we empower people. It's the Uniquely Living Radio Show. Please be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Stay connected. It's KBN, your #1 station for inspiration. Coming up next here on the Uniquely Living